Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. As you guys can see by the title, really? A ban on Muslims? I mean, wow, what the fuck? Have you guys really lost your minds? Maybe it's time we re-educate everyone on how to read. And I don't mean just the title of an article or video, but the whole damn thing. Stop believing the half-truths and lies, and please stop sharing and posting something you don't even research just because the title says something or your friend posted it and it's trending right now doesn't make it truth or factual. Because as we'll find, a lot of people, when we title something, we want to title something that's going to catch your eye. Pretty much all this rant's going to extend from somebody on Facebook that's really pissing me off. He called me a bigot a couple weeks ago. Then today, I post something about this. Posted a video I watched earlier today by Stephen Malamute. And the title of that video was basically a ban on Muslims. I'm going to give you the exact title of it. What pisses me off about President Trump's Muslim ban, and Muslims in quotations at that. So I shared the video to Facebook. Well, first thing the person responded, well, I thought you supported Trump. Like trying to hit a nerve. Which instantly told me they didn't even listen to the damn video. Because within the first, not even minute of the video, he calls it what it is. There was no ban on Muslims. It was a ban on 7 states from people that are known terrorist states that support terrorism. Everybody's making a big deal about this. Everybody's going to these airports protesting. You know what? It's the same young, dumb people that were sponsoring BLM to disrupt J20. I mean, you can recognize some of their faces from the ones from the inauguration. And all police sign call, just running their mouth on stuff they don't even know. So what happens? Well, the other night, it's all popped off. It was first started at JFK Airport. Everybody's protesting, calling Trump fascists, calling people, basically white neo-Nazis, degrading white people. I mean, this is the point. When you're going to protest what your message is about. Don't protest 20 different things that has nothing to do with the subject at hand. But the real subject at hand was, well, because BuzzFeed started live streaming there and called it a Muslim ban, everybody started tuning in. Everybody started watching. But yet nobody's putting the facts out there. Nobody put the facts out there about that it had nothing to do with Muslims. In fact, if anybody reads the damn fucking executive order and follows the sections of it to where it leads to, you'll find Muslims are welcome. Any religion's welcome. It had nothing to do with race, religion. It all had one thing to do with: terrorists. and it had to do with 7 countries that are known terrorists. You know, there's 2 countries I think it should have been added to the list, like maybe 3. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. You know, protesting, you guys are going to protest something about that. Why weren't those 2 countries added to that list? Oh, wait, who originally, originally did that legislation come from? This is going to blow your mind back because it wasn't Trump. All he did was sign an executive order changing it from 6 months to 90 days and reinforcing and making people do their jobs from, oh, wait, get this, Congress and Obama's administration. It's Obama's and Congress's bill from like 2014. There is no new legislation that was passed. The executive order had nothing to do with any new bans. It's just reinstating and forcing certain departments and forcing customs to actually do their jobs and follow the law. But yet, the ignorant people today can't even do research. Oh, my friend posted it, so it's got to be true. Well, did you look it up? Did you actually read it? Did you actually watch the video? No, you're just watching a bunch of protesters protesting white hate, hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter. Stop banning Muslims. And it has nothing to do with Muslims. You know, that seems to be the big problem today. Everybody sees a title or, oh, CNN reported, NBC reported, so it's got to be true. Well, thus far, they haven't reported nothing that's really true when it comes to politics. I mean, want some real true facts? Let's talk about the immigration issues that Germany's having, Britain's had, France has had. Let's talk about, for all you so-called feminists and women's rights activists, let's talk about the women's rally in D.C. And this should piss any real true feminists off. When a fucking man punches a female reporter and is protected by the so-called women's activists and feminist march as they pull him away and shield him from the cops. So you're saying that woman reporter doesn't, what you're protesting about doesn't affect her? It's not about her? This is how moronic these things have gotten. What is your message? Because it's not a feminist message. It wasn't a women's rights message because you just allowed a man to punch a woman in front of you. Tell you what, if that would have happened in the 60s and 70s, that man would have got his ass beat. And I've been lucky if the cops could pulled all those women off him. There seems to be an ideology that I'm baffled of where people are getting their ideas from, because they're not taking it from our past generations, because our past generations would have never allowed that to happen. Just like our past generations, tell you what, at least they were smart enough to read. They were smart enough to follow the legislation. They knew when they were out there protesting something, they could quote word for word what the legislation they were protesting. And I tell you what, they wouldn't be out there protesting a ban on Muslims because it wasn't. And then what kills me, you guys didn't even bother to protest this when Obama and Congress passed it in 2014. How hypocritical is that? And don't say it because you weren't awake. In fact, the only thing we can say right now, that's how blind you guys were and are. When you miscue facts, believe everything you see on social media. Oh, BuzzFeed. Oh, let's look at BuzzFeed real quick. What have they posted in the last few weeks that's been realized false? Ban on Muslims, false. What was the other thing? It was just a week ago, wasn't it? Or 2 weeks ago. There was another big thing they got completely wrong. Oh, wait. That's right. The golden shower thing. Originated from BuzzFeed. Completely false. But yet I see protesters still bringing that up like it's fact. I really think these last few generations, we need to put them back in school, teach them how to read. Take their phones away from them. Because apparently they're wasting too much time not using the phones and your iPads and your PCs, laptops to their fullest capabilities, which is doing research before you open your goddamn mouth. I'm all for protest. And you're protesting the right thing when you're protesting based on facts. I mean, I'm not a big fan of animal activists, but I tell you what, they serve a purpose and they do have a message. Just sometimes I think they might take it a little bit too far, but when it comes to our endangered species, or a species that's being hunted too much, yeah, they serve a real good purpose to remind everybody. You know, just like women's rights. And I've said this over and over again, there's still a fight that needs to be done there. But what you're doing right now, and what you allowed to happen just couple weeks ago, you guys have ruined any women's cause because, and goddamn, you let a man punch a woman and protected him. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys are ruining the ideal of a protest. When you start protesting based on false ideas, false rhetoric, you make anybody else that protests a righteous and a right cause, you make it so they don't have, so that their words are not going to be heard because you guys are out there being dumb, following lies and half-truths. What you guys are going to end up doing is killing the general idea of protest. You're going to make it so that when we do need movements like the civil rights movements, how we needed that back in its day, you're going to make it so it no longer carries word or voice because everybody's going to tune it out. And I hate to say that. That's what you idiots are doing. And as you guys can see, I'm not being politically correct or nothing. You know, I'm calling it like I see it. Because it seems to be it's okay to say I have white privilege or I'm bad because I'm white. You know, the funny thing about that was you got some of it, especially when it's coming from the Black Lives Matter groups. Really? You guys bitch and complain and moan about racism? What are you doing right now when you say that, when you open up your mouth and say those things? You're promoting racism. The very same thing that you're supposed to oppose. Calling people members of the KKK. You know, the KKK is pretty much what, for the most part, a dead organization. But let's state facts on that. Who created the KKK? It was the Democratic Party. Know your history. What was the flag flown in the KKK rally? The first building they set up for their own, it was the Stars and Stripes, not the Stars and Bars. You know, and the other thing I can't understand, especially with women's rights, the ones that are out there going up to these airports protesting. So basically you're saying it's okay for what's going on over in Germany, France, how women are just being raped and nobody's doing nothing about it because they're not being disrespected, especially you Christians out there who are also protesting this ban, who if they had their way, you guys would be beheaded. And I'm not speaking on all Muslims, I'm speaking on the radical terrorists. And that's what this ban is all about. The seven countries that have supported, that's produced more terrorists, that have also pushed and openly admitted their goals is to go into these countries as refugees. And look at what they've been causing. How much stuff have we seen just overseas in the last year that was related to terrorists because they let these refugees in? There's a difference between those seeking freedom from persecution to those that are trying to embed themselves. You know, there is a thin red line here. But when you have issues that keep coming up, eventually you've got to put your foot down. Or else we will have history repeat itself. Now, I think that's the biggest issue here. We've gotten, I think maybe some of it's we've just gotten to, okay, we don't know who to trust. Because all the mainstream media's got caught lying so much. Okay, I'll give you that much. But you can't go believe everything you see on social media either. Can't believe everything you hear on alternate news. You know, a lot of that responsibility falls on you as an individual to do your own fact-checking and researching, to actually listen to the video and not judge it by the title. Where you could have listened for the first minute and found out what the video was about, and you went and opened your mouth and made a stupid comment. Or you wouldn't have looked like an idiot for resharing it and reposting what turned out to be not real truth. Let's talk about some breaking news. And it probably speaks volumes. I haven't really got into it. Watch it just come over. A mosque. A shooting at a mosque in Canada. Wow. Can't tell you I didn't see that one coming. People are tired of it. We're tired of people coming in, think they're going to push their ideas and values on people. We're tired of the terrorism. You know, the last time I checked, Canada was supposed to be a free country. People are supposed to be free. Last time I checked, the United States was supposed to be a country of free people, patriots. So, you know, and, you know, I don't agree with what was done. Like I said, I haven't watched it or listened, so I'm going to be hypothetical on this one. So if it was a group of idiots, I decided to, oh, because their prime minister says, we're just going to let it, you can come in, welcome you. That's not how you make a statement. Because they have every right to practice their religious beliefs in their churches and their holy places. Just because there's a bunch of bad apples that deals with that certain type of religion and ethnicity doesn't make them all. I know a lot of Muslims that are good people, the most helpful people, who fled that because of the persecution they went through, because of the ideology that the terrorist mind spec were going through. So you can't, that's another problem. We're so quick to blame other people's religions when we got the same bad apples in our own. I mean, you guys just need to wake the fuck up. You need to step back, take a time out, and actually do a little research and find, I mean real research, don't go to any major news network or alternative news network. Go right straight to the source. Read the executive orders. Read the legislation that was passed by Congress. You know, I did a video, how to fact check and research. Check it out if you don't know how. Because I know many of you don't, because they quit teaching you guys in school how our branches of government work. And for all of you, there should be protesting about. Start bringing that shit back into our schools, so people know how to research, know where to look. So when they are out there, decide to go out there and protest for a cause, they can quote their facts instead of a bunch of false ideologies, and where half of them are paid. Or where you got celebrities who only care about how much money they're getting put in their pockets to come out and speak for during your protest groups. Yeah, don't need to name names there. We've seen enough of them. They're the same people. If anything ever happened, they would denounce anything they had to do with you guys. That's not a true protester. It's not a true friend of yours. They don't support your causes. They could care less. And the few that actually do care, they're too scared to speak out. Why? Because they won't get their job. They won't get that record deal. They won't get that position in that upcoming movie that they're the perfect role. That's the perfect role for them. Why? Because they spoke out against what they were told not to speak about. So if they want to work, they're going to fall in line. So yeah, this is ramblings of a chaotic mind. No, there's nothing chaotic about this mind tonight. You know, the problem is there's too much chaos out there right now. Which is kind of a good thing, I guess, because eventually all this chaos is going to bring about radical change. It's going to make change how people see and view things. It's going to waken people up. But the scary part of that is how that change may affect us. Because if not enough people wake up and see what's going on, the change could be very bad for everyone. You protesters could cause everyone to lose our right to free speech when you're out there pushing false ideas, out there protesting a lie on something that's based on a lie that you didn't research. When you're out there spreading hate and racism, there could be a huge backlash on that affects everyone. And you know who everyone else is going to blame? You idiots. You know, I hate calling people stupid, idiot, dumb. But, I mean, let's face the facts. If you're unwilling to go out there and do the research, I mean, if you could quote the legislation, I couldn't call you stuck, dumb, or stupid because you're quoting it. So somewhere in your ideology, you think there's a cause there. And whether I agree with it or not, that's a different story, but I got to prove you wrong based on the facts you just brought. You see what I'm saying? But when you bring nothing to nothing with no facts, and I quote the facts at you, and you look at me like, I guess I got to call it for what it is. Stupidity. Idiocy. You guys got minds. God gave you a fucking mind. The ability to think for yourselves. Not be told what to think. Not be told what to believe. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this week and some of the videos I'm going to be bringing. I'm taking it to a whole new level in a whole different area. I'm going to talk on subjects that nobody talks on. Why? I'm tired of the idiocy. I'm tired of the mind control that's going on because this is what this fucking bullshit is. It's a bunch of mind control. Or mindless. You guys have become so mindless you can't even see through the crap that you're wading into. They don't make boots big enough to walk through the shit you guys are spreading. You know? And here's some of the other backlash. Now let's just say, let's hypothesize this. Let's take this into a different radical spectrum. Let's say this is, and I kind of hit on it right. Let's say this is just, they're just doing this so they can take more of our freedoms away. So they can put more restrictions on social media. Did you guys ever think about that? You guys are nothing but puppets, and somebody's pulling the strings, and we don't know what their agenda is. Why? Because there's too many. It seems like there's too many agendas. And that is a problem. Because I've stated it before. History is a good example. And we don't got to go back very far. We only got to go back about a year. We've seen the danger. Well, I don't call it a danger, but it is a danger to the government, to the politicians. Social media has become dangerous because they lost control. They can't control. They used to have all the control based on the news networks and the news outlets. And then, lo and behold, Trump came along. That's the only reason I kind of like the guy. He came around and put a big monkey wrench in things. But then again, you also heard my theory on that one too. That could have been planned. And that's all it is a theory till it can be proven. Because, you know, that's the thing. You got to look at all aspects, just not one side. You know, just like in that 2014 legislation that Congress passed and that Obama signed, you got to look at all aspects of that. There's always pros and cons. You got to weigh them out. You got to think of outside the box sometimes. Okay, what else could possibly happen with this? Then on that note, I would say, hey, you guys might be onto something out there, but you don't have the facts to base your support. Because they don't say nothing about banning Muslims. It's a restricting and putting a travel ban on 7 countries. But yet it also goes in to say they can get, after 90 days, after a vetting process, they could possibly get a visa. Or if they're fleeing persecution and they can prove it, they can get a passport within those countries, or a green card, or get sanctuary. So, hey. But you guys wouldn't know that. You didn't read it. But let's just hypothetically put this theory out there. Let's say this is their intention. They want you guys out there protesting on these ideas. They want these social media sites like BuzzFeed, Facebook, Twitter to push these issues. Then come back and say, well, because of this, we had these protests. We had them backing up our airports when it had nothing to do with the Muslim ban. You guys see where I'm going with this? This is why it's important to research and actually know what you're protesting. And be able to state facts from it. Because let's say this is what they want. They want to get more control over us in the social media aspects. How we share things, how we bring things to you. The people that are actually bringing you the truth. This could be a way to shut them up. This could be a way to strip you of your First Amendment. So that's why I'm being a little bit more, how would I put it? Yeah, an asshole about it. Just call it like it is. I'm being a dickhead about this topic. Because you guys gotta step outside the box every now and then and look at other possible ideas. They're theories. But yet, now weigh those theories with what's going on. Tell me what's the possibility of that actually happening? Because for one, for those who think I support Trump, I don't. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for anyone. Why? Because I can't. And before anybody calls me a racist, could ever be. I'm mixed. Sorry. Fuck you. I don't judge people on their race, their beliefs, their ideas. I judge them by the person, how they present themselves, how they act, how they treat others. I try to treat everyone as they're my equals. But it seems in this day of age, it's getting harder to do that when you can't reason. You can't speak reason to someone without, I'm going to remove you from my Facebook friends. Well, go ahead. Apparently, you definitely wasn't a friend because you wouldn't get so pissy over something stupid as a post. Like, actually truthful. You won't make a comment without actually watching the first few minutes of the video or reading the post. I mean, if you're going to argue with facts. Bring back your statements with facts. Put links so people can go look. Don't post, oh, because my friend posted this, has got to be true. Yeah, my friend might have different ideas that I might not agree with, but those are his ideas. So I already know, well, let me double check. Make sure, let me read this, make sure it's something that I believe in, or something that, because if it's not, hey, I'm going to, depending on the person, if they're open to such ideas, which most of my friends are, like, hey, dude, you might want to read this, check this out before, and then once you show them that, leave it be. Because if it doesn't change their mind, okay, cool. I'm not sharing it, though. But I will share what I just found. You see what I'm saying, guys? We got to learn. I think we got to learn to start trusting ourselves and not other people. I mean, we got to trust people, but right now, you can't trust people that just, especially social media. I think I hate to say it, there's too much sway in social media right now that if you're not going to take the time and check your facts, check your resources, you probably shouldn't be reposting things just because it's trending or because the title says something. I don't do it much, but I kind of did it with this video. Sometimes I'll do it with some other videos. Depends on the subject and what point I'm trying to get across. Sometimes the only way you get views or you can get something to trend is by giving it a catchy title that really catches someone's eye. It's like, well, they don't teach it. I probably don't teach it anymore in school. But like when they talked about how people advertise and stuff, or how you sell things. Well, the number one thing that sells is sex. You put a sexy woman up on screen on your ad, it's going to catch their eye. It's a trigger. You put a catchy title, like everybody will stop when they see breaking news. Or you make it flash and do cool things. It catches the eye, catches the mind. It's like, oh, what's this? But yet, if you just go by what the title says, and you don't actually listen and watch it, you just got tricked. That's how we sell things. That's how we manipulate things. It's a form of manipulation. It's a form of psyop. It's a psychological control aspect. And believe me, I am going to cover psychic warfare, spiritual warfare, magical warfare, mind control in depth this week. I think it's time you guys realize how propaganda is used, how it triggers you, how, and it's common. Growing up, you tell one person something, and you tell that person, make something up. You tell a person, really tell somebody you know that gossips. You tell that person. Watch how fast that spreads. And make sure somewhere down the line it comes right back to you. And watch how much what you originally said had changed. It's just like, some people say, a lot of people say when traumatic events or crimes happen that people are eyewitness to. An eyewitness is usually, if it's a traumatic event, isn't a reliable source because right at that instant, because parts of their mind's trying to cope and deal with it, they miss things that they actually saw it. Sometimes it takes months for that to be recalled. And it's then documented. Or it's something that goes against their ideologies or belief systems. So there's a mental block that doesn't allow, it protects them from what just transpired. So even though they've seen it with their eyes, they're not able to recall it. And that's pretty much what I think is going to has happened. They caused such an event and caused so much division, so much chaos. The mainstream media got caught lying to everyone. So now everybody just reaches for whatever source they think is a liable source and runs with it. And they don't perceive the danger and the damage it's causing. And the fact that we're getting so caught up with everything that's going on. We've blinded ourselves to the truth. We've blinded ourselves to question. Wait, that don't sound right. Why is all of a sudden people saying this? Where'd this come from? It's a shock effect. You know, just like I did a video last week or this week about how, you know, we love changing words on things. Just like post-traumatic stress syndrome. Well, it used to be called shell shock. After a few generations, the name changed again. To give it a less, in a sense it lessens the credibility of it, even though it still means the same damn thing. Just like, oh, we don't assassinate, but we do drone strikes now. It's still the same damn thing. You're targeting an individual. You're just using a different weapon. In the end, it's still the same damn thing. But when you start taking things and call them, oh, there's a ban. Yeah, of 7 countries. It's a travel restriction. Let's get the word right. It's a restriction, not a ban. And it's not Muslims, it's 7 countries. You guys are changing the words and actually changing the meaning of things to fit someone else's agenda. Whose agenda is it? You guys asking yourself that question? But you guys get so caught up that when people find the truth, bring you the true actual documents, you don't want to hear it because, oh no, that's not true. It's trending. It's the #1 trending thing on Twitter, on BuzzFeed, on Facebook. It's been trending for the last 2 days. It's got to be true. Look at all these people out here protesting at these airports. It's true. Uh-huh. Oh, wait, we had a federal judge say, and the federal judge he's probably got his ass reamed today. Why? Because he believed a lie. But then again, we all know how law is. Law is a two-edged sword. It's my job is to take the interpretation as I read it and make you believe that interpretation or change your view of the interpretation of how you see it. I got to sell the interpretation of that law. And you wonder why jailhouse lawyers are fucking better than any lawyer you can ever pay on the streets. Because they understand the simple fact of every law is a judgment of interpretation. How do you win the jury? By making them believe your interpretation of that law. You know, you guys need to step back, take a break from things, and actually take that time to, when you see something pop up like that, go do a little bit of research. I mean, that shit wasn't hard to find. It was actually quite easy to find. And the truth is, all you guys are screaming things about white hate, racism, fascist, calling us fascist cunts. You guys are just really degrading yourself. You know, because the fact is, there is no racism. We all know it. But it ain't like what you guys are making it out to be. Nor is it. Because, you know, it can be quite easy for us white people to scream racism right now. Let me tell you. And we got statistical numbers to back it and prove it. So if there is racism going, it's within your own race. And we need to put any such notions and ideas of that really out of the picture right now. We got bigger things to worry about. You guys got allowed yourself to get baited these last 8 years into racial issues that weren't there. You guys are pretty much, wow. You guys have truly become sheep. And the people in wolf's clothing are standing beside you pulling your strings. You know, right, like I said, I hope that this wasn't how it was planned to come about, so they could steal all of our freedoms. You know, I sat back and looked at some of the things that's happened in the past year. We had the Brexit exit. We had all these refugees pouring into the country. We've seen the uptake in violence. We've seen the uptake of women being raped. Religious persecutions. Mass murder on a wide stage. Whether it be bombings, shooting up places, running people over with vehicles. So I think you guys need to take time to step back and wake up. Wake up to the world what's going on in the world. Man, you know, some of you are just pissed off because the person you wanted elected didn't get elected, so you're acting out. So you're falling victims to any cause that comes your way that potentially goes against the person that is in office now. Guess what? If that's why you're out there protesting, you've been tricked. Because the simple fact is, he didn't make that law or legislation, so get off it. Come back down to reality. There's no Muslim ban. It's a country ban. It's actually not even a ban. Let me quit using that word. It is a restriction on 7 countries from allowing people to fly out because they support terrorism. Not the people, but the country itself. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want even a chance of having what happened on 9/11, no matter how you believe it or see it, who did it, who didn't do it. I think we all should look back to that day. Because that was the day it changed the world forever. It united American people. It united patriots with non-patriots. People seen what great travesty. And we came out for better and stronger afterwards. But now, we're in far worse shape than we ever were. Because for you guys in America, here in the United States, let's keep it real. It's just a matter of time before what's happening over in Europe starts happening here. Whether it be the cartels that just come freely up and through Mexico, or when, our neighbor up north, he says, oh, you guys can all come here, we'll welcome you. It puts our northern borders in danger now from terrorists. We all should be careful. We all should look at the pros and cons. I mean, you put a wall up, is it going to stop everybody from crossing over? No, they're still going to find ways. It's just going to be harder. But it'll cut back on a lot. We got a huge drug problem here in the United States. And everyone knows it. Everyone says it. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about heroin, cocaine, meth, all the hardcore stuff that comes flowing in through the Mexican border because it's wide open. We got trafficking going on, human trafficking. So yeah, you want to cut some of that down? Let's enforce our borders. Let's protect our borders. There's a good cause for that and a good reason for that. Is it the complete answer? No, because somebody wants to cross, they'll find a way. They'll go under, over, or they'll find ways to put holes in it. But it's a starting point. And, let's not forget our history. This country is founded on immigration and immigrants. But there was also laws in place. I mean, it's a lot easier to get in this country now than it used to be back in the day. Back in the 30s, 20s, 40s, where you had to go through immigration and be processed, which could take weeks to become a citizen. Now you can come into this country on a visa, green card, or as a tourist, or to go to school and not have to be a citizen of this country and not have to go through a bunch of headaches. But you still got to go through customs. You still got to get checked. It's been some of the problem. We got so focused with TSA beefing up their security, but in fact, the biggest security in our airports was the immigration, was checking passports, making sure the person was who they were, if they were wanted in any countries. That's a good thing, guys. Not a bad thing. And they should be detained until they're vetted through, especially if you're coming from a known country that has terrorism. There is laws in place to protect them that come into this country. You guys need to let those laws play out. Not jump to conclusions because somebody on BuzzFeed or somebody or one of the mainstream media companies say that it's a ban on a race of people or an ethnicity of people, when in truth it wasn't. And truthfully, maybe that's been the problem. Maybe that's why these generations gotten so dumb, which is hard to believe. I don't see how you get so dumb when you got so much information in at your hands where you can find the truth, learn how to do new things, interact with people from around the world, learn their views and ideas. But I guess, there's such a thing as information overload, and just the fact that, hey, I guess when you give some people access to something that can simplify some things, it does make people lazy. When you realize you've been lied to for so long, now you're just looking for any old source of information and jumping on anything that's trending. I guess I could see why things have gotten the way they've gotten. But start realizing the consequences of those actions, because those consequences could affect our First Amendments, our rights, the ability to be not so controlled. For now, you're going to be watched 24/7 on every little thing you post on a social media site. I mean, it's bad enough we're allowing technology into our homes that can record every word you say. You can turn your computers on, turn your cameras on. We always got to have the new and best gadgets. It's always been like that. But now our new and best gadgets aren't really our friends anymore. But yet, that's where I'm really going to get into this psych warfare thing, because that's where now they'll send you, because they hear your actions. They say, okay, you're anti-Trump. Here, let me show you these links. They start popping up more and more to these things. And you're instantly, because, you had your mind on it, you're already against something. Now it just becomes an easy trigger to trigger you. Throw something catchy or shiny out there, you're going to bite. You're going to look. And you may even read. Well, if you didn't go back and check your sources, recheck things, you might have just took the hook with no bait on it. And now you're just adding strings to the rest of your body so they can puppet master you around and keep you brainwashed. Like I said, guys, I think it really pisses me off when I see the things that are going on. And I've seen it. I don't know how many times I've posted stuff. I'll post, like when I do these videos, I'll send a link to Facebook. Oh, I'll get likes, but you know what? I know when you click on the video if you actually like the video. Because every time you click on the video, it shows me how many times the video has been viewed. So if you don't hit play, don't like the damn video. You're just insulting my intelligence. And you're basically lying to me. You're just liking the title I put up. You don't even know what the content in it is. I honestly think they really want to fix some things like on Facebook and Twitter and that. Fix it. And even here on YouTube, fix it so you can't dislike or like a video until you watch at least 5 minutes of it. Or 2 minutes of it. Oh, wait, if they did that, that would mean people would actually watch some of these videos that's actually spreading the truth. Okay, I get it now. But then again, I wouldn't have to come up with catchy titles to trick you to watch my video. Or I wouldn't have to have my banging-ass girlfriend pose for me so I can put sexy images and stuff of some girls to catch your attention. That's psychological warfare, my friends. That's PSYOP. Quit being victims of it. Wake up. Because as you can see, I'm an artist anyway. I find ways with images to catch your minds. Even with my titles sometimes, Ramblings of a Chaotic Mind. Wow. Hey, wait, look at the image. Already designed to catch your eye. Already designed to trigger you. Artists are great for that. We know how to use words, imagery to manipulate. In a sense, that's what it comes down to. Manipulation. Gotta sell. You know, instead of being able to post something simple that's actually truthful, that completely relates to the video, they don't catch your mind, they don't catch your attention. They don't draw you to it. You know, and that seems to be the general problem with things today. Those that are awake see past these things. They see the idiocy, the stupidity that's going on. But I mean, damn, you guys are making it, what the fuck? You're bringing a whole new meaning to what the fuck. Because, I mean, you're stunning people, generations of people, at your stupidity. You're stunning people in the fact that you claim to be educated. You claim to have, I can't tell. You're proving more and more that you've got no education. You're proving more and more that our education system's really broken. We need to fix it. Oh, wait, you guys don't want to protest on that. That's actually something that's needed and right. I guess I'm going to end this stream on this note. I mean, what the fuck? At a women's rally with a bunch of feminists, a bunch of women's rights activists, you let a man punch a female reporter and you protected that man. That's just what the fuck. You guys have become that brainwashed? And I tell you what, as a man, that's just the worst thing you can ever do to any woman is hit a woman. Although there's a bunch of women out there now who can probably kick a man's ass. But, for real, that just degraded anything you guys were protesting about. That degraded your cause. And honestly, I feel bad. You know, I might not agree with everything from a feminist movement. I'm talking about the old days of feminism, where feminism actually had a cause. Today's feminism don't seem to have a cause. Just like half these protests, you're just shaming the other generations that protested real causes. And eventually, there may be consequences to it. You may end up getting our free speech banned because of your stupidity. And I think it's what pissed me off the most about it. You guys are that gullible, that blind, that uneducated. And for all those that are awake and educated, take no offense to what I say because it's not directed at you. Because, wow, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are sitting there laughing and agreeing with me. In fact, if you are, go ahead and comment. I want to hear your guys' ideas, thoughts of that. I mean, really? You guys are just, wow. And actually, it's a pretty shameful day to be a human being. An intelligent human being, because we got a lot of people out there lacking intelligence. But, you know, To each their own, I guess. You can speak on these things until you're blue in the face. People are going to believe what they want, see what they want, and say what they want. And at this point, there's no point in arguing with anybody. Their minds are set. They don't want to see because they believe everything that they read. They believe a title without even watching a video, without reading it. But yeah, I'm going to end on that note. Tomorrow actually we'll be doing Truth Portal. It's going to be on lies versus truth. What is really happening in the world we live in? And I'm going to cover a few things on this one. Some of the stuff you heard me rambling about tonight, I'm going to actually bring facts, show you the facts. I'm going to delve deeper into this psychological warfare we're going into. That's just going to be the subject of the week. Because it seems we live in a day of age where lies seem to be running rampant and shadowing real truth. How is this happening, and why are so many people falling victims to this? It also seems to be that it isn't just happening here, but worldwide. What is the reason for this, and can we do anything to stop it? I mean, people just say, "Oh yeah, just keep talking, tell them, bring them the truth." I don't know. It seems to me, it's getting hard to be truthful when nobody wants to actually hear the truth. They want to believe the lie, which I can understand. Nobody wants to believe that they've been following a lie or standing, putting their convictions and faith into something that turns out not to be true. That kind of really hurts real bad. There's a damaging psychological effect to that too. For those, what else do I got coming up? I'll just give you the whole scenario what I've been coming up this week. Truth Portal will be on this channel, on KOTR's channel. On Tuesday, I will be doing Knowledge and Principles. This is where I'm really going to break it down. Spiritual, psychic, and magical warfare and mind control. I know, and guys, this is just not going to be occult-based. I know a lot of people that follows this stream here aren't into the esoteric or occult stuff. But this one here will apply to everyone, no matter what your belief system is. Because it's something that happens. My goal with this probably is going to turn into a few discussions on this. I'm going to break it down, teach you how to unprogram yourself and protect yourself so you don't get triggered by everything you see. And there's nothing, the only aspect which I may consider esoteric is magical, but then there's still that property, even in the religious, is just called something different. We're not going to get into the differences. We're going to get into how the triggers, how to protect yourself from these things, how to awaken yourself to see your own truths and your own beliefs and ideas, how to better listen to yourself. On Wednesday, I'll be bringing the meditations section of KOTR, which will be doing the introduction to mantra meditations. And on Thursday, paths and disciplines, mysticism and magic. And obviously the other two are esoteric or occult-based, period. Well, meditation applies universal, but I'm going to try to keep Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind, Truth Portal, separate from KOTR for a bit, unless it's something that specifically dealing with the esoteric. That way I keep these two channels separate. This week I also will be introducing some prepping videos and shit hit the fan videos for this channel here. Like I said, I'm working on a few things. I'm working with other people, different people. I'm bringing, like I said, I have many genres. I bring it all. But I've come to find that some people just don't want to hear about one sect and they just avoid the channel. They're missing out on things that they actually enjoy. So I'm separating the two. Because apparently the idea of here, there's this section, this playlist, and people aren't grasping the idea that, and they're shunning away. Which I've spoken on it before. I've rambled on the whole subject. That's wrong ideology, wrong thinking. It shows, because all that does, it's another part of the psychological warfare that's been bashed into all of our heads that keeps us separated and divided. If I'm an activist against anything, it is anything that causes division and separation. When you start, because from those things, you start getting hate. You get your anti stuff. And that I oppose. I believe, when it comes to my religious preferences and beliefs, I believe there's truth in all religions. And we shouldn't judge things based on dogmatic influence or anything that's meant to control you through fear. Because in a sense, that's what's been happening. We've become so brainwashed that we're so controllable through things we do not understand, things we don't know, and that seems to be the real boiling point and tipping point here. You know, we can't respect another person's belief or ideas because it's different from ours. But yet, how can you say anything when have you studied that? Have you listened to the person? You know, like I said, I judge people by their character, how they present themselves, how they treat others and act. That's how you're going to get into one of my circles and get close to become friends with me. It's by your actions, not by your beliefs, not by what religion you follow, or by what politics you serve. I hate politics. I've said it over and over. Because in truth, what has politics done for any of us? Nothing. We usually vote for who tells the best lie. You know, like I said, I'm a big fan of the ancient Grecian period when we had the philosopher period era, where people could philosophize, bring out new ideas, challenging ideas, radical ideas, different views. People learned. So much came out of that period. So much growth. So much understanding. It was truly the era of the free thinkers. And we've seen what happened. We can't, governments, any form of government cannot have, any form of government and any form of religion cannot have a society of free thinkers. Because free thinkers oppose control. Free thinkers have the ability to damage any aspect that's an idea of something to control you. So, maybe the best thing to end. Let us end on this note. We should all strive to be free thinkers. Why? If we are free thinkers and thinking for ourselves, we are freeing ourselves from all entrapments and enslavements. Free thinkers don't put no emphasis on race, religion, gender. In a sense, free thinkers abolish such notions. So think on that for a bit. I wish you guys all a good night.